had a Meltemi emergency.
It's all kicking off.
Adam just called this French guy that we love a mushroom.
Hi guys, welcome back. Last time on To Get Lost, we finally caught a tuna. We did other cool stuff too, like watching a thunderstorm from a secluded anchorage. But catching a tuna was a real dream come true for us, and something we'll be forever grateful for.
Since you came along, you sexy thing, you sexy thing, you. Where do you come from, baby?
We'd arrived in Kapsali on the island of Kythira in preparation for the predicted high winds due to arrive in the next few days. We were relieved to find a safe harbour with a big town quay to moor up on. Obviously, like everything in sailing, it wasn't as simple as we hoped.
What's going on, Emily?
Had a bit of a drama. We got told to move at 6 this morning because a cruise ship was coming in, so our nice, safe mooring has now become just basically it's going to be a free-for-all. As soon as this cruise ship goes, everyone that was anchored out here is going to try and get in.
Why were we on a nice, safe mooring? Why have we sorted that out?
Because we knew ages ago that these winds were coming, so we were really prepared, and now we've been moved off, and it's really sad.
We're going to be alright though, aren't we?
I think so. We've just gone and spoken to everyone on the quayside, and we've bagged ourselves for space. And luckily, we're actually anchored in the way of the cruise ship, so he can't leave until we pick up our hook. So we'll be a bit more prepared, and hopefully we'll get in there first. Because the last thing we want to do is be mooring in a really tight space when we're not so confident.
What's the wind predicted to do for the next few days?
Be horrible.
Is it 43 knots or something, don't we, coming in?
Yeah, but I think it's just gusting 43, but I think it'll be the worst we've seen since Marina de Ragusa, where we were safely in the marina.
Yeah, it would certainly be the worst we've ever kind of sat out.
So we read this was really safe, and that people have been at anchor in this sort of weather here, so this is why we came here. But then we found the town quay, so we were like, oh yes, safety. And so we got alongside, we were really happy. No one else was really here, and now obviously this morning we've woken up and there's like 5 boats out in the anchorage. We've all had to move off the town quay, so it's just going to be horrible.
It's going to be alright. We're going to get the boat set up, and then, yeah, stern two with our new friends, the Italian doctor and the...
Just wish we had a few more fenders right now.
It's alright, we're going to use a trick our friends Carl and Hayley showed us. We're going to use our spare ropes as fenders by hanking them up.
Yeah, get those thick ropes.
Alright, let's get it set up. Rope fender. Compensating for our entire lack of fenders, we've made these ones out of mooring lines. So that's where we're about to go, where this gigantic powerboat is.
I've got no nails there.
We are quite nervous.
So what's going on, Adam? What's the deal?
We've had a bit of an entertaining day. Started with us getting turfed out at 6 in the morning and told to move off our nice cushy mooring for a giant powerboat. And then, because everyone had to move, or a handful of boats had to move, and there was a few anchored out, it turned into a whole palaver where everyone was jostling for space to get back on the quay. We thought we were going to have to med more, and then everyone said they were going to come alongside, so we were going to be the only guys med moored, and the whole thing was just a bit of a nightmare. So we're alongside again, and we've just had to leave the boat for a bit because we're going a bit crazy.
Tuna steaks.
Pan-seared tuna.
Adam got me up early this morning because he wanted to sort the boat out before the winds that are coming, and I've come outside and actually he's just chatting up a fit American girl. Thanks, Adam. I'll just do the boat myself. Don't worry about that.
So,
Oh, you decided to come back to me, have you?
yeah, I was just going and building some bridges.
The fit American girl.
So while we're on the dock side, we're just making use of the space to get everything out the lockers and have a bit of a swap.
All alone again tonight, but you don't seem to forget about yourself. Wondering how it could go so wrong, but you didn't call for help.
Spring cleaning in September.
Yeah, it's good to have a little bit of a clear out. Just been listening to audiobook and working away. And yeah, having quite a good time really.
Pretty cool.
We're just like on edge today because we're worried about having to med more. So everyone that's med moored down there has just been sat. There's been like 25 knots, gusting 25 knots. And they've just been sat watching their anchor all day. I just can't.
So stressful.
So stressful. If that was our anchor, knowing how light it is, I'd just be. We can't med more in these 50 knot winds. 25 knots feels like.
It's just not safe, is it? You know whose this is?
No, I think maybe. I don't know.
Darling? You know whose tender this is? We'll see. Hola. Hey. Have a nice day.
Tender rescue. Adam's a hero. It's like I just watched him save a baby from a burning pool. He just shouted, "I'm going in the water! It's a lost dinghy!" I just don't want to be med moored. I just don't. I think it's a really stupid way of mooring.
It's literally just to let more people in. And other than that, it doesn't really have a purpose. It's all the bad of being anchored out and all the bad of being next to an obstacle. Seems like the least safe way of being. To be honest,
Do you think someone's on that boat? Because that actually maybe it's just the angle, but that looks to me like that's in serious trouble right now. No one seems to be doing anything about it.
it's very much askew, isn't it?
It's just on its
Oh,
side.
I don't know what to think about those guys. They were just on a rampage, weren't they?
Yeah, but
So that's the
thing.
boat that came and stomped down next to us, wasn't it? That said, while we were coming alongside, they came and just stuck themselves
Right,
in.
but they just put them. They could see that we were coming alongside and we were going to moor, and they just started going straight for us.
Yeah, so we had a little game of chicken, which we won. And then, which helps when your boat's the cheapest boat in the area. It's the heaviest, the most beaten up, and the cheapest. They had a lot more
With
to lose.
scratches all over it.
They were like,
"Oh,"
"Oh."
ready to crash their boat up.
So they chickened out, but then pulled a like handbrake donut, and then dropped their anchor really shoddily and motored
Kind
back
of
on like
motored back
2,500.
like this, and then just
Yeah,
started. I don't even know. But it was really windy as well, which is why I just wouldn't have wanted to med more. I just think
didn't seem very skippily, did it?
I get it. I get the principle of it, that it's making space for enough people to get on. But I just think it's really dangerous.
Yeah, with the
Because-
conditions that are coming in as well. I'd rather have somebody rafted up on me, I think,
Yeah.
than be med moored, I reckon.
But med more. What I don't like, you're next to you're in between two boats that are relying mostly on their anchor, and with people coming and going all the time that are just going to lay their anchor on your anchor. So you could just be having a
Yeah.
lovely time in the Greek taverna, enjoying
Somebody pops your anchor and
calamari
that's it.
Beer, and then you're
right
ankles
on the
out.
hazard. You know, you're tight on your anchor, tight to the pontoon.
Just seems
So if your anchor goes, like, you're so screwed. It's not, you know, if you drag anchor, you might be fine, or you might hit an obstacle. But if you're med moored and somebody pops your anchor, you're in real trouble. There's all sorts of crazy anchoring tactics here as well. There's people coming in big serpentine S's. There's people saying they're going to lay their anchors out at 45 degrees because of the wind. So it must be a real nest over there.
No one knows where anyone else is anchored.
No.
Everyone's just guessing.
A few of them are marked, but not very
clearly. And then you're right
clearly.
next to this boat that's popped out its anchor and it's rubbing up against you, and you're enjoying your beer in the taverna and don't even know.
He is keyed off at a good 30 odd degrees. He does look like he's popped. It's all good fun, isn't it? Get a boat, they said. It'll be relaxing, they said.
We've had such a lovely week, and now this pantomime.
Well, it's all good experience, isn't it?
After a lot of creative thinking, we decided to make the move and med more when there was no wind. Here was our setup. We moved the boat from our spot alongside the harbour wall over to the shallow end. We dropped anchor in 5 metres of water and let out 30 metres of chain. Because of the shallow depths to starboard, it was safe to attach a mooring line forward to take the strain off our anchor in the direction the wind was due to arrive. Then we took out our second anchor just in case. We used our 2 snubbers to help take the strain off our stern lines and wrapped rubber around the rough harbour cleats to stop chafing. And here is a perfect example of why we hate med mooring and why we usually choose to anchor out.
As you can see, med mooring is nice and stress-free.
This has been going on for like half an hour with everyone just screaming at everyone. Oh! Ow! Is that their boat? They just don't want anyone next.
Everyone on the quayside made fun of us for over-preparing. They thought we had too many fenders and lines out. But when the Meltemi finally arrived, we were so thankful for all the effort we'd gone to.
Now pretend like you're in an 80s music video.
It's not even glowing anymore.
It's time to find out whether these solar panel vents are strong enough. I think they're pretty good. Windy.
The Meltemi winds are the strong north winds of the Aegean Sea, which blow from about mid-May to mid-September. They can last for days at a time without a break, like the ones we experienced, and they often blow at force 7 to 8. The Meltemi winds have been well documented since ancient times. They happen mainly due to a high pressure system lying over the Hungary area and a relatively low pressure system over Turkey. We were predicted to have 3 days of 40 to 50 knot gusts. The highest we saw on our wind instruments was 43 knots, and our neighbours saw 49.
Just happened, Emily.
We had a Meltemi emergency.
Which has completely exploded the fair lead.
Like literally ripped apart a piece of ripping off the cleat.
It's crazy, the amount of force. It's like tearing the cleat clean out of the fiberglass.
Yeah, this is not good. We've just got not enough strong points on the boat. So now if that cleat blows,
Well,
we're relying on our backstay, which I'm not. I don't have very much faith anymore in anything. It's not even that windy.
It was surgy and snatchy though, wasn't it?
It's like going from being really calm, like 6 knots,
Pretty calm now.
to like, but when it's calm it's almost worse, because at least the wind just holds you, whereas the sea, when the wind keeps like, oh, here we go. You just see it coming across the water, like, great.
So what we've done now is split the weight between these other points. So we've got 3 or 4 lines all dividing the weight between the cleat that's been affected, the backstay, and our big winch, which we're aware we shouldn't really use, but it's better than nothing. Here we go, here's the guy. Just completely exploded. Snapped in 2, bent double, screws bent. The works.
What were the new dramas this morning, Adam?
It's all kicking off. Guy next to us changed over to being Ed Moored because he was getting really chewed up on the pontoon, and his anchor popped twice in the night, so he carried on winching it in, waiting for morning. This morning he's riding the dock with his stern, so we've lent him our 3rd anchor because we're lucky enough to have 3. He's gone and dinghied that out with this guy's help, and while he was doing that, another one of his lines blew. To run over with a line to replace that. It's all good fun. It's all good fun this morning. Apparently he's buying us a beer later on, so it's all worked out great.
Adam just called this French guy that we love a mushroom.
One person gave her a round of applause. And I was like, voila, encore, très bien. And I was trying to think of the word for champion, so I just said champion, which means mushroom. So, it's been emotional.
Well, we managed it and we've learnt a lot. We definitely should have kept...
Sadly, our little Meltemi debrief is basically unusable because of the wind. We have a mic now and a lot to learn. I'm going to share it with you anyway, as we learnt a lot from the whole thing and it might be useful to someone else. Firstly, we learnt it's far better to be over-prepared when there's bad weather predicted. We thought through every scenario we could and put plans in place. We learnt that being on the quayside is stressful. I go on a long rant here about being told off for eating my porridge. It was a very sad story, but I'll spare you the details. You see a lot of shouting and people offering opinions that you don't always need, and you certainly can't count on sitting down to dinner without being interrupted. Saying that, it does have amazing advantages, and we were so glad we were here. Having friendly faces around makes the hard times feel a lot easier. It was great to be able to help out our neighbours and to be able to ask advice when we were unsure. We made some lovely friends through the whole experience and met people that have enhanced our sailing journey. The main thing we learnt about mooring was that we should have loosened our lines when the swell started. The reason the fair lead blew and the cleat began to rip out was because the boat didn't have enough freedom to roll with the swell. As usual, I spent a long time beating myself up for making this mistake, but I'm starting to realise that as new sailors we really can't know it all, and it's only through experience that we can learn. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our little channel. It's great to have your support and we love hearing from you. Next time on To Get Lost, we explore more of this beautiful island without any worries of high winds.